Quadrants is a new concept here at Tealium, and it was born out of the idea that everybody online is really focused on 4 key quadrants. The first being acquisition, or to acquire net new users, net new eyeballs, right? Net new leads. The second is to engage those users. When somebody's on your property, engaging with your content, you need to make sure that you're giving them the best experience and you're customizing that experience based on what their behaviors are. Then you need to nurture them, right? You need to keep them coming back. You need to bring them in to make that purchase if they didn't do it the first time. And then finally, you need to ensure market share, right? Share of wallet, share of dollar, share of times. And so these quadrants, they not only represent sort of key functional areas of focus for any business online, but they also in many cases will let you understand what channels and what vendors fit into that specific cycle of the customer experience. So Quadrants is a little bit of a unique thing and has a sort of a different vibe on it. I mean, everywhere you look, some consultants build out some matrix of sorts to deal with the customer life cycle. But we want you to consider the vendor mix. And the vendor mix is important because as the marketing ecosystem has just exploded to 3,400 different marketing technology providers out in the space today, finding the one that fits you is really difficult. And it's not about looking at them in isolation, it's about looking at them as a group, the vendor mix, right? And the Quadrants gives you a guideline on deciding where in the customer lifecycle is the most critical for your business based on what you're selling and the services that you're trying to provide, or where you have the biggest gap, and then focusing in and buying vendors that are specifically tailored for that quadrant. And moreover, thinking about the data that's used. Case in point, when you're thinking about net new acquisition, some of the best data to use out in the market or the best messaging to use is third-party data with brand core messaging, right? You want to entice people to come in, and then when they're engaging with you, you want to use personalized first-party level data, right? You want to execute with personalized message, and you want to carry that conversation down into nurturing. And then out using that nurturing data, using that first-party data to further fuel into understanding what the general share is, again, using that third-party data to understand what's going on, and back into the cycle. So the quadrants are helping you to sort of think about the life cycle of the customer against the data types that you should use and the marketing message that you should focus on, and then lining that up with the vendors that you select, because the vendors are a competitive advantage today. Who you pick and how you use them is as critical today as the media that you show. And with Tealium tools and solutions like Tealium in the marketplace today, as well as some of the products that you have in the cloud that enable you to collect your own data, the cost of change is lower than ever. How does Tealium fit in all of this? Well, that's the idea of the CDP, right? Dead in the center of the quadrant, working with every vendor in the ecosystem, working with every single type of data, activating against it on real time, and being neutral in the space so that all of these vendors can actually execute on their specific step in the cycle. That's where Tealium is. That's what the CDP should represent, and that's exactly what we built it to do.